How do you celebrate a birthday? A little bubbly? A little cake? A spa day? I don't know. I'm celebrating with lots of cake. New Day Northwest starts right now.
It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm Kelly Hansen. This morning we are starting the show with a big celebration because New Day Northwest is about to turn 15. That's right, this mighty little show started back in 2010. And executive producer Joseph joins me now. And Joseph, you've been with the show since 2015.
Yes, I have. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I feel like we should blow out the candles right now because we're celebrating. They're burning.
Shall we?
Yes. 1, 2, 3. Make a wish, make a wish.
Yes, I've got lots of wishes for the show.
And you were the one that kind of came to me and were like, okay, birthday's happening.
How are we going to do this celebration for New Day? And you were like, cake, obviously.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I didn't even really think about that, but here we are.
I know. Well, I mean, come on. Cakes, celebrating birthday, 15 years, that's a big deal.
But you have some feelings about birthdays that kind of surprised me. I learned about you.
I know, I do. This is kind of, I love celebrating people, first of all. Like if it's my friend's birthday, my parents, like I want to do all of the things. And when they're like, no, I don't have to celebrate, it's not a big year. I'm like, yes, it is. But when it comes to myself personally, I always get really emotional on my birthday every year. Surprise, surprise. I'm an emotional human. And I think it's just reflecting on what went right, what went wrong. It's kind of almost like I just look at the year and just getting sentimental and then also what maybe I could do better.
Sure.
And so I get in my feels.
Yeah, so sometimes I know I don't love celebrating my birthday either. And I think this year we're kind of both thinking like, let's not look backwards, let's just look forwards. Like all we have to look forward to on all the birthdays to come, right?
Absolutely. And we can look forward to cake, obviously. So I want to
so we have
dive
4.
in.
So,
yes.
I got 2, you got 2.
I did. We can start
Should we start
big
with this
guy? Beautiful cake. So
Here,
this is from
the plate?
Yes, because we're gonna dive in for a surprise, you guys. There's a little reveal on this one.
Should
This is from Cutaway. Seatown Sweets, local female-owned bakery in Kenmore, specializing in buttercream, cookies, cake pops, all the sweet treats. And my friend from high school, Kayla, actually owned this shop. She decorated this beautiful guy. It's a vintage look with classic funfetti cake with a vanilla almond flavored sprinkle cake and a cookie butter mousse filling.
Wow. Look at how beautifully colored that is.
My goodness, you guys. So. Dive in, taste test, walk me through. You baked a cake and you also have this one.
So my feeling is birthday cakes can come in all shapes and flavors. My favorite cake is a tiramisu. It's from Whole Foods, but I love it. Why not on your birthday, right? And then this one, this is the only cake I know how to make. So I thought I'd make you a cake. I made that last night. It is an orange water saffron almond cake.
So delicious.
And it is so good with cream in the center. And then you got this one.
I did. This is another cake that I got. It is a family-owned Hawaiian bakery, Cakes of Paradise in the Georgetown area. So delicious. Their rainbow cake is strawberry, lime, orange cake with whipped topping, guava, lime, and passion fruit sauces, layers. Aloha, people, okay?
And happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. We're gonna dig in and have some cake. And
I'm just so excited. This is your first year as our host, and we're so excited. And
thank you.
It's gonna just be a great year ahead.
I'm so excited to be here.
And many
Dream
more
come
ahead,
true.
hopefully.
Many more to the next 15.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
And speaking of reasons to celebrate, today is Mariners opening day. Here right now is a look at T-Mobile Park, where folks have been getting ready for the season to finally kick off. The action gets started tonight at 7 o'clock with a 4-game series against the A's. King 5 sports anchor Chris Egan is here, and I hear we're not calling them the Oakland A's anymore, right?
No longer Oakland A's, just the A's, Kelly. But you know what we are calling today? We're calling today, at least I'm calling it, a national holiday. It is opening day. I think this should be a national holiday. Baseball is back. Here we go again. Mariners A's starting the season off. It's going to be a fun one. I can't wait. Hot dogs, beer. The grass is perfect over at T-Mobile Park. It's the best time of the year for me.
It really is. And you are so busy today. You didn't want me to mention it, but I'm going to put you on blast. You haven't even slept. This is how busy and excited you are.
That's opening day.
I know.
There is no time to sleep on opening day, and that's okay, because you know why? I don't have to play tonight. I get to sit back and enjoy this. And this is a Mariners team with high expectations rotations, Kelly, and I'm going to tell you what, they need to strike early. 13 of their first 16 games. 13 of their first 16 games are at T-Mobile Park. They need to win in March and April.
Okay, and I want to get down to who to watch, fan favorite, Julio Rodriguez. Yeah. How's he looking?
Well, Julio Rodriguez, he'll admit, he's coming off of a bad year. Did not play great last year, was very inconsistent at the end of the year, kind of started getting things going a little bit. Talked to him several times at spring training. He loves where he's at physically. He loves where he's at mentally. He loves having Edgar Martinez as the hitting coach, along with Kevin Seitzer, who they brought in during the offseason. So I'm expecting big things from Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez also talked about this defense. Victor Robles, Randy Arozarena, also in the outfield. He thinks this could be the best defensive outfield in all of baseball.
Oh, my gosh.
I like that. I also want them to hit a little bit, too, because they're going to be probably batting 1, 2, 3 in the order.
Ooh, okay. I can't wait. Another fan favorite, one of my favorites, Cal Raleigh. And he just came off his best season yet and signed a major deal, right? Tell me about that.
Major deal. He's going to be basically, they want to keep him in Seattle for the rest of his life. This is big news for the Seattle Mariners, for the fans, and for Cal Raleigh. This is a guy that not only won a Gold Glove last year, he won a Platinum Glove. He works with the best pitching staff in all of baseball. So, yes, I think this is huge news. They're keeping him for at least 6 more years with an option for that 7th year. The big dumper, they got dumplings over there now.
I know, little dumpers.
I mean, he's quickly become a fan favorite. And this is an Iron Man. This is a guy that plays injured a lot of times, and he's just a tough guy, and you want him on your team, and they got him for a long time.
Definitely fun to watch. How about J.P. Crawford?
Well, J.P. Crawford would admit that last year was just an awful season for him. He started injured, then he had some rehab in Tacoma. He got injured again. He just says, I just never got in a groove last year, and his batting average showed that. He was one of those players, and this is where this Mariners team, I think they're going to be much better this season, because they basically had 8 guys have the worst seasons of their career. We can't expect that to happen again. At least let's hopefully that won't happen again. And J.P. Crawford is one of those guys, they need him to have a bounce-back year. He is healthy. He is ready to go. He's your shortstop. He's one of your leaders of this team. They need a big year from J.P. Crawford, and all signs right now are pointing that it should be better than last year.
Okay, and switching gears a little bit to pitching to talk about. I know Logan Gilbert is getting the start tonight. How are we looking there?
Logan Gilbert going to be making his first ever opening day start. I mean, this is a special moment for Logan Gilbert. He's just one of many great starters on this team. You have Logan Gilbert, you have Luis Castillo, who's going to pitch on Friday, Bryce Miller, Brian Wu, and then Emerson Hancock's going to be starting with the club. He went back and forth with Seattle and Tacoma last year. The reason he's starting with the club is because one of the players you see there in that picture, George Kirby, had shoulder inflammation down at spring training. It's not season-ending injury, so he's going to be back. He was already throwing some balls down there in spring training again, so they're getting him back. No timetable yet, Kelly, on his return, but the news is good that he will be back. And I need to also throw out the fact that last year this team did not have Matt Brash, one of the key relievers on this team. He was out with Tommy John surgery for the whole year. Matt Brash has been pitching in spring training. They're hoping to have him back by May. So that's another big addition to this team.
This is looking good.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's also looking good, because he's one of my favorites, Dan Wilson. It's his first full season as manager. So what are we looking at for Dan Wilson?
Well, I think Dan Wilson said it best during spring training. What we're going to do with this team is we're going to simplify things. We're just going to make things, we're going to get back to the basics. And last year he took over this team, didn't have a lot of time to put his imprint on this team. So Dan Wilson was able to have his first full spring training with the team. He's working with his old buddy Edgar Martinez. He's brought in some other familiar faces. Alvin Davis, Ichiro gets in there and works with the guys. Jay Buhner was down there in spring training. So I'm expecting big things. The players love him. At least the players that I chatted with during spring training, they just say this guy.
He's the guy.
He speaks to us. We like his approach and how he goes about his business every day. He's not going to give you anything flashy as far as sound bites or anything or give anything away. But that's Dan Wilson. For all of us that covered him back in the years, that's who he was. and hopefully he can lead this team back to the playoffs, and who knows, maybe the first ever World Series if we
Can
keep
you
our fingers
imagine
crossed.
if he was our, like, I just got goosebumps. That would be incredible.
Put a statue of him outside the stadium if he gets into this.
100%.
And then Ichiro I mentioned Ichiro, his buddy, he'll be throwing out the ceremonial first pitch tonight. So
I'm going tonight, and I'm going early because I cannot miss that.
yeah, it's going to be fun. The place is going to be rocking.
It sure is. And so what's it going to take for the team, this postseason to, like, how are we looking in our division? How is it all stacking up?
I think if you listen to the folks that cover this game a lot, they say the AL West is wide open as far as it comes to the Astros, the Texas Rangers, and the Mariners. Those are the three teams that the people are, the experts are looking at.
Okay.
We've always had troubles with the Astros through the years. But I think when you look at this pitching staff, you look at some of the players that had those bad seasons last year, if they can improve, and then you bring in some of these relievers like Matt Brash that you didn't have at all last year, I think things are looking good. In my mind, this team is going to the playoffs. I mentioned it on the morning show. I'm going to shave my back. I'm going to put the trident in my back just to fire this team up.
I thought you were going to say hair.
Well, the hair on my back. Yeah, no, I don't touch this hair because it may never return, Kelly. But I'm telling you what. I do. I personally, and I know a lot of people say, come on, Egan, you're kind of a homer. They didn't make any big moves in the offseason. I don't think they needed to make those moves. They made the move at the end of last year to pick up Randy Arozarena, Victor Robles. These are two key names that you need to know because these guys, like I said, Victor will be batting first. Randy will probably be batting third with Julio batting number 2. So big names. And you already mentioned Cal Raleigh. He'll be the cleanup hitter. So I think they have what it takes to make it to the playoffs.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. He's shaving his back, y'all, and a trident's going to be in it.
Yeah.
I want to get to this really fast.
Yeah.
Tons of new ballpark foods that we're going to talk about later in the show. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, my favorite's pretty simple. Beer, hot dog. Keep it simple. Don't give me no chocolate-covered cricket. Don't give me no dumpling. Don't give me some super fried corn dog that looks blue. Beer, hot dog with mustard. Thank you.
And maybe a Trident cup, one of these new Trident cups.
Fill that with a margarita. I'm ready to roll. Or a beer.
Okay, well, there we go. Thank you, as always. So much fun to have you here. Please come back every single day.
Go Mariners.
And we're getting ready next for a big goodbye this morning. Later in the show, King 5 local programming legend Jim Dever joins us on the couch as he prepares to step down as host of Evening. But up next, a 12-year-old Port Orchard girl just returned from playing at Carnegie Hall. She's playing a beautiful song from Titanic here on New Day right after this. Welcome back. What a treat we have for you. A 12-year-old Port Orchard student was recently awarded first place at the Crescendo International Piano Competition, earning her an invitation to perform at Carnegie Hall in New York. This prestigious honor places her among the top pianists worldwide. And just back from Carnegie Hall, she's sharing a piece with us. Ileani Gonzalez, take it away. Oh my goodness, come on over here, please. You have me smiling, crying, all the things. So talented.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for having me here today.
Oh my gosh, it's an honor to have you sitting on the couch. Please tell me about that piece you played. I think a lot of people will know, but tell me about it.
Yes, the piece I just performed was entitled My Heart Will Go On from Titanic. I tweaked it a little bit to add a few bits here and there, but I hope everyone enjoyed that. I am very passionate about modern pieces as well as classical, so it was really a pleasure performing for you today.
Well, amazing to hear. That talent is just insane. You recently played too at Carnegie Hall. What was that like?
Yes, the prospect of playing at Carnegie Hall was certainly surreal. So naturally, my whole family tagged along, extended family members included, while many of my teachers at my current school, Washington Virtual Academies, cheered me on back home, which made the experience all the more memorable.
Oh, absolutely. And you were just talking about that. You attend an online school, which you started during COVID. What do you like about that?
Yes, and I think that is really the beauty of online schooling. It's empowered me with an unparalleled flexibility to pursue interests I never would have discovered otherwise, one of which includes competitive piano, but also public speaking, advocacy and debate, coding, writing, and more.
Oh my gosh, you are busy. And so exactly like you just said, you also are a spelling bee champion, I hear. So tell me about that. And there you are. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite word to spell too?
It's difficult to choose one word. I believe it would be Schadenfreude.
Whoa. Okay, I won't put you on the spot to spell it right now, but maybe later you can tell me how to spell it. So what's next for you? I mean, sky's the limit.
Yes, looking ahead, I definitely have an exciting year ahead. More recently, I was invited to play with the Bremerton West Sound Symphony Young Artist Competition. I received a runner-up prize and was invited to perform at the Rising Stars concert in Polsbo, and will hopefully have the opportunity to play with the symphony as well as a guest artist. In addition to this, looking farther ahead, I was recently accepted into the Robinson Center for Young Scholars, a gifted program of the University of Washington, allowing me the groundbreaking opportunity to go through a one-year transition directly from middle school to college, which is incredibly exciting and made possible by the robust curriculum, flexibility, and especially the supportive teachers at Washington Virtual Academies.
Wow, we are so honored to have you today on the couch, and I cannot wait to see what you do next. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes. And coming up next, from blue corn dogs to ice cream nachos, we're trying some of the most unique Mariner menu items, so make sure you stay with us. Welcome back to the show. As we celebrate the Mariners opening day, we'd be remiss to leave out one of our favorite things at the ballpark, the food. Evening's Jose Cedeno joined me at the Mariners food preview to try some of the more unconventional menu offerings, so take a look. Okay, this is one of my favorite days to try like the unique new food that the Mariners have.
Yeah.
And we have a spread today. Are you excited?
Oh boy, I am, but I don't know what half of this is, but I am excited.
I'm gonna tell you. First off, the What Up corn dog. It's blue, Mariners colors, so festive. It's a honey battered corn dog with a spicy crunch on top and nacho cheese. This was one of my favorites that I tried. I didn't taste the spice. I know spicy sometimes is a little hard for you. The crispiness on top was not spicy. Oh, you just smashed that, Jose. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about the next thing, and then you tell me. Oh no, you're ready. How was it?
Fantastic. What's next?
What's next? Okay, next we're going teal frozen lemonade with vodka. This is gonna be so delicious for the summer warm months, right? Taste test.
Do we do it like a shot or just?
We'll try. Brain freeze. Brain freeze.
Just what I needed. After that corn dog, yeah.
Okay, well, you might need, whoa, yes. Okay, you're
Give me
really
more,
killing
give me
it.
more. What's next?
The Godzilla. I'm bringing another another hot dog. It's coming your way. It's a foot-long hot dog, beef chili on top, cheese sauce, wasabi relish, pickled peppers, spicy mayo, teriyaki sauce, minced onion, jalapeno. This is found at the Sumo Dog in section 190. I've never met a hot dog I don't
By
like.
the way, you know I don't like spicy, right?
I'm sorry, I do. Anything spicy, I'll go in with you, okay? Cheers.
Cheers.
Taste test. Here we go. That's not too spicy. Really? It is? Ooh, that's a fave.
Like, it's just like very quick. I'm feeling it already.
Okay, wash it down. You can share
Yeah, give me your
my
shot.
Slurpee.
I'll
Take
take
it.
your shot.
And then these new Lee Humo gummy bears dusted in a plum coating. This is found at Marination in section 119. So I guess it's more like plum and like a tangy. We're getting a tangy, salty, sour, and savory all at once. The Game Time gummies.
It kind of looks like a fancy gummy bear.
This is very fancy.
Try it. Salty but good.
Ooh, I like
Salty and
that.
sweet at the same time.
That is. That's an interesting combination. And we have to go and try my favorite ice cream anything. There's ice cream nachos. Soft serve ice cream with thick, crunchy waffle chips, sprinkles, and a caramel sauce. I think we need to go.
I love how you know the menu.
Duh, I've been like, anything unique and new, I'm gonna know. Jose, thank you for being here. And thank you for taste testing. Sorry if it was spicy.
It was.
Just a little spicy. And when we come back, Jim Dever joins us as he prepares to step down as host of Evening. We're gonna look back on his incredible 30 plus years with King 5, so make sure you stay with us.
This is New Day Northwest.
Welcome back. As they say, all good things must come to an end. And this morning we are saying goodbye to a King 5 local programming icon, Jim Dever. After more than 30 years at the station, he is stepping down from his role as host of Evening at the end of this week. And Jim joins me now for a look back, but also a look ahead.
Oh, isn't that nice? I had to try so hard not to burst out laughing when you said icon.
You are an icon.
Get
You're
outta
everybody's
here.
friend.
Get
Like.
out. I'm still wearing my badge. Yeah, I need to turn that in.
Oh, you know what? I might sell this.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
Jim Dever, this could get me a lot of money. Also, we brought
It's not
you.
gonna work in a day, just so you know.
Well, who knows? eBay. These cakes, don't worry. We wanted to, bring out a little. Don't mind the name.
That is so sweet. Happy 15th year New Day.
No. We want to celebrate you, Jim. Nothing can go to waste. Best for you. Yes, dive in. And while you're diving into how did you get into TV and how did you wind up here at the Mighty King 5?
Sorry, I can't talk with food in my mouth.
I'll just make it
or
up.
Cake on my hands. I started out as a news photographer at a small station in Pennsylvania.
You did?
Mm-hmm. Altoona. It's not just a punchline, it's an actual town. And it's a beautiful town. And then they started this show. Oh, thank you. Thank you,
Tissues
Joseph.
are coming. We're not crying yet. It's for the cake.
Hang on. Oh man, I don't know what I did there. That's a mess.
We're unhinged.
So
It's
one
fine.
thing led to another. I ended up hosting a little show out there, and worked my way through the whole PM evening magazine system over the years. And Seattle was the last stop because all of those kinds of shows went away. People don't realize how special the one is here.
Yeah.
And it was my refuge for the last 34 years.
So amazing. And we have some really, really fun memories that we want to take a look at right now. So listen in.
I pretend I'm influential and conceited.
Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever played the Kingdom in Seattle?
No,
We've never been on.
Do you want to? I can get you in. If you make me the sixth spice, I can do that.
Okay. I'll tell you what, you can be the warm-up wiggler.
Warm-up wiggler, all right.
Warm-up
I
wiggler.
have no idea what that is, but I'm afraid I'm about to find out.
Do you know what? Part of the Spice Girls credentials is Enthusiasm.
Very, very afraid.
Get up and just a little wiggle. And it shows your pants as well.
So here I am, wiggling, as they say, for the world's #1 pop group. And they are enjoying it just a little too much. Yes, the Spice World is a dangerous and foreboding place. I look forward to living here.
Superfan robot of the future. I am challenging Panthers fans to challenges of skill and knowledge.
All right.
What is the significance of the numbers 43 and 0?
Oh, man.
It is the score of the Seahawks-Panthers game. Seahawks win.
All right.
Seahawks win.
All right.
Hello? Do you come here often? I like your outfit. Go 12th man. Punch it in. Punch it in. Punch it in. Don't leave me hanging. Thank you.
So many laughs over the years. I can't believe you met the Spice Girl. That was my first CD. I was obsessed.
Oh, really?
Obsessed.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. They were the top of the world at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they had a movie that came out which gave us a little entree into their world. You know, we get to interview people for new movies that come out, so that was fun.
Wow, and you're obviously known for your comedy, but you've also done serious work, and you have one of your favorite or most memorable stories at a Romanian orphanage. Tell me about this one.
Oh man, we went over there with a guy named Chuck Fox, who's from Vancouver, Washington, and he had made it his life's mission to go into these orphanages in Romania and try to turn around the lives of these kids, young women, and it was so inspiring. One of the things we had to do, and you can see it right there, I think, there was a baby in this filthy orphanage, and it's striking its head on the sides of the crib. They have so little stimulus that they create their own. It's almost like, I hate to make this comparison, but it's like an animal that's been caged for too long and starts walking in circles and that sort of thing. So I mean, it was horrible conditions, but I was so proud of the fact that we kind of had to sneak in to get that shot. They were giving us the sterilized tour, to show how wonderful the orphanage was. And we saw that through the crack of a door, and the photographer, Tom Volk, snuck back in as I sort of distracted our host.
Yeah.
And he was able to get that shot, and stories like that really make you feel privileged to be in a position to tell them.
Yeah, it really sticks with you.
Yeah.
And switching gears to, you've also done these Daredevil segments. They're iconic. Everyone loves them. Is there anything that you didn't do? Whoa, you look like a Ken doll. Hello.
Oh man, I had starved myself for 5 months there and worked out every day because the dare was to be a swimsuit model.
Whoa.
For the night, and there were actual people looking on, and I was so panicked. I think I actually slimmed down too much. And now this one, I did a little ballet thing that I was challenged to do by Evergreen City Ballet in Everett. And what I found out later, this is a friend of mine who actually ran the ballet down there. And what I found out later is they put the largest possible cod piece into the pants. He was basically punking me, and I didn't know it. But first of all, it made it very hard to dance. And
we'll blame it on that,
it
right?
made some very interesting photos that most of which had to be censored.
And I know you've gotten some injuries too over the years from some of these segments. You know, you've really put everything into it.
Every time I leave the house, my wife is like, "Don't do something stupid," because I was hosting a show with Jose at Sanka down in Georgetown, a circus school, and I kind of came off my unicycle at the end of the show, and I kind of blocked it with my heel as I landed on the ground, and I could feel my hamstring just snap. And another time I was doing a ninja course, American Ninja Warrior course.
Yes, I remember that.
Punched myself in the face with the rope that I grabbed somehow, and it cracked my tooth, and it made my lip giant. And just another time I dislocated my knee while log rolling. I don't recommend it.
Oh, well, the list goes on. We're going to get to a fun fact, too. You love Elvis Presley.
Of course, everyone loves Elvis Presley.
I mean, yeah, but your obsession, who knew?
Yeah, I have to, this is the one that when I go through the pearly gates, I'll be asked about this one. And This was my unkind impersonation of Elvis. This is not in his best years. This isn't the '68 comeback black leather Elvis. This is the post-Vegas. Oh boy, yeah.
It's a moment in time.
Yeah, and I did an undercover Elvis performance for the show.
Yeah.
With the Elvis Invitationals, and so I went in as I made up a fake name. It was actually a name from one of the characters in one of his movies. And I went undercover and I performed as an Elvis impersonator. And then they found out after they saw the story air, and they invited me back to MC the next year. And over the years, I just developed a relationship with all these amateur Elvis impersonators. Like, how can you not?
I know.
So
okay, what's next, too? We want to get that in before you leave.
That is what I'm going to take a month or two to figure out.
Good.
I really don't have any solid plans, but I'm keeping my mind completely open. I've been doing this for 34 years. I could have kept doing it for several more if I wanted to, I'm sure, but at some point you go like, oh, there's an exit ramp. This time, instead of driving by, let me just take it. And I just figured, let's see what's out there. My wife and I want to do a lot more travel and stuff like that, and I'm sure I will still be telling stories on video in one form or another. So,
well, we can't wait to watch you there. Yes.
Look for my YouTube page.
You're the best. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for 30 plus years at King.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, you can catch Jim's last episode with Evening this Monday, March 31st at 7:30 right here on King 5, and we'll be right back. In today's uncertain financial landscape, a lot of people are turning to credit unions as an alternative to traditional banks. Simon Powley from Kitsap Credit Union is back to talk about whether this shift could be a smart move for you. Great to see you again.
Great to see you again. Thanks for having me back.
Yes, important discussions. So let's get into it. I imagine you're kind of getting a lot of questions from people who are uncertain right now what to do with their money. So what are some of the trends that you're noticing?
Yeah, talking to our members, kind of three things. One is kind of looking for assets or resources to stabilize. So a lot of volatility in the market right now, looking for something moving from maybe stocks to more bonds, those kind of things that are a little bit more evenly distributed and get you a little better consistent return.
Awesome.
The second thing, what I'll say is, there's a lot of uncertainty out there within the landscape. A lot of changes. The administration's trying a lot of new things, a lot of new levers is what I'd say to change the market and the economy, and that's causing a lot of volatility. So, kind of a flight to safety, for lack of a better term, institutions that have been around for a long time where we can come in and I can put somewhere that my money is in a little bit of financial place, a better financial place. And the third is, there's a lot of what I'd say shortfalls, both in state and federal government right now. And so we're seeing a lot of cuts and so forth around those kind of things. And so, moving more to a financial institution that may be a little bit more community oriented seems to be resonating with our members as well, so that we can focus back on them.
Awesome. Okay. And why is it that people are, you've kind of touched on this, but switching to community-focused institutions? Like, are there key advantages that you want to discuss?
Yeah. I'd say a couple things. One is, typically we have lower rates and better interest rates and lower fees than typical banks were. And right now, when every dollar counts, certainly I think there's a focus on that. I was just in rate committee, as a matter of fact, yesterday for interest rates. Super proud of what we're offering on our money market accounts right now. Our Diamond Money Market specifically. It's a good return to members, in terms of what we can do to impact the community and help support our members during this time.
Okay.
The second is personalized solutions, and the way I would categorize that is special programs around loans and so forth. So maybe it's skip a payment on your auto loan, which can make a big impact on someone's life right now for a particular month, or different loan programs that we need to restructure or lean into. That's really helpful to our members right now, and so we're looking at that as well. We lean a lot into financial wellness is what we call it. And so, what I would say and what that means from a supportive banking environment is leaning in to really educate not only the community, but our members on how to put them in a better financial situation now and help them plan for life events in the future and accomplish their goals. And so that's an educational process for Americans, as you know, and we're leaning heavily into that. And that seems to be resonating in the marketplace around our financial education. And then also, a lot of schools and so forth that we're partnering with. We're seeing a lot of students kind of gravitate gravitate to us as well as we come into schools, the different programs we have to help them and again educate them, which we think is so fundamental. And the focus on the community, which is always
Huge.
kind of where we really land, where we resonate well, where credit unions typically offer. Our value proposition is really around how do we lean into the communities to be able to support them.
So awesome. And is it hard to switch your account then from a bank to a credit union, and what goes into that then? Because it does feel like it would be hard, but is it not?
It really, with today's digital tools, what I say, it's pretty easy to do. So the first thing you want to do is go and open an account, right? And
Fair
you can
enough.
do that at your local branch. You can do that online through various venues, websites, maybe even your mobile application and so forth. So find a place, provide basic information like your driver's license or other ways that you can just provide identification to be able to support your account opening process. Number one, that's super easy. So, start there. The next aspect of it, I look for ways to be able to transfer your accounts. And so finding ways to bring those dollars over to fund the new accounts, get them set up and ready to go. You can do those very easily. Again, our member specialists or at a typical credit union, any member specialist is willing to help you with that, to support you in that, or you can simply follow it through a digital process of transferring those funds over. And that's pretty easy to do. And then, next, what I'd say is, update that information. So once you get there, probably the part that's most daunting for most members we talk to is, okay, I've got these bills that are coming out of these reoccurring deposits.
Yeah.
Set those up and make sure that those are done. Look at your statements. I think that's a healthy process, honestly, because I can't tell you how many people, there's automatic debits coming out of your credit or debit account. Maybe it's an extra Netflix account or a streaming service that you're not even aware of. It's a great time to reset and say, okay, do I really need these services, right? Maybe cut back, budget a little bit more, move those over so you've got a good, grounded base to work from and then move forward from that perspective. So, relatively easy, and of course, we're standing by here to support.
And that's what I love, is that you actually can talk to a person that cares and hear from there. So is there anything else you want to add just with what differentiates you all?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think what my members would say is, during times of uncertainty, credit unions lean into their community, right? And that's where we're really trying to do. We are trying to grow our member base to do more in our communities. And that seems to be resonating with our members, that we want to go to some place that maybe is not towards corporate earnings, but really reinvesting in our community. And, I was talking to, my head of marketing yesterday, and, he reminded me, we did 147 events last year and contributed over $700,000 towards wellness programs and food security. And so, those are the kind of things that right now, when these budget shortfalls are coming in, really resonate. So I think it feels good to our members to be a part of an organization that I can impact my community, my local dollars stay here and support really what I want to be supportive of and during times of need like this.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And to learn more about the services offered by Kitsap Credit Union, just visit the website that you see right there on your screen. And coming up next, it's book club time. See how we rate this month's book and how to join in on the club so you never miss a recommendation.
This portion of New Day Northwest is sponsored by Kitsap Credit Union. This is New Day Northwest.
Welcome back. It's time again for Kelly's Book Club. Yes, I love this little stinger, so you guys get to listen to it. This month's pick was James by Percival Everett. There it is. It's a novel reimagining the adventures of Huckleberry Finn from Mark Twain, but from the perspective of Huckleberry's friend Jim, who is an escaped slave. The early scenes closely follow the tale of Huckleberry Finn, with Jim overhearing he's going to be sold, so he escapes and leaves his wife and daughter to go formulate a plan to later hopefully try and buy them back. Huck also runs away by faking his own death to escape his violent father. But as this new story unfolds, the pair separates and the book hones in on Jim's adventures. The tone turns more serious as it explores rape, murder, and racism. And with me again to discuss this month's pick are my friends and fellow book club members, Lauren Mullenix and Michelle Bodman. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
thanks for being here.
Glad to be here.
I love this segment because I feel like it really keeps us accountable and reading. How do you guys feel about it? You have homework assignments every month.
We had homework, but it was fun, yeah.
I love it too because it just also like keeps a group chat going within the month, and we have something to talk about and keep up with. So it's great.
I agree. Before we dive in about the book fully with some questions, let's rate it. We rate 1 through 10. So drum roll as we write on these little whiteboards today. Let's see. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hope you can see that. I know, mine's 6.5. Okay.
7.2.
8. Oh, wow, okay, we're all over the map.
Yeah.
Michelle, do you want to start us off on why the rating?
I gave it a high rating because I thought the writing style was, and like the topic, it was witty, creative, over a very serious topic. The perspective of James as a slave, but also keeping me along for these adventures. And he handled really serious topics in a way that was still enjoyable. So
yeah, definitely. Lauren?
I agree. I think it was very well written. I loved that it was a different perspective on an old school book. It reminds me of like growing up when you're like forced to read things in high school. I'm sure that I've read Huckleberry Finn at some point, but I thought it was a good read and it was captivating. Not something I would have normally picked up.
No, and that was the same as me. And I think my rating was, I completely agree with you. Loved the writing style, but it was such a heavy topic, obviously, and really hard to get through, especially like the way this book is kind of paced out. It's like part 1, which follows Huckleberry Finn pretty close. Part 2, where Jim and Huck get separated and kind of go more about Jim's adventures. And then part 3 just was so intense, just, you know, with topics of rape, racism, murder. It was a difficult read, which I know that's the point, and very thoughtfully written, but again, maybe, not something I normally want to read right before bed.
To go to bed.
I know, and then it's like you're stressed.
And it stays with you. I feel like it's kind of stayed with me ever since I finished it. So.
Which is why it's well written and a great book.
Yeah.
Very, very true. So we kind of touched on this. You don't remember if you read Huckleberry Finn. Michelle, do you?
I did, but I think if I did this over, I would read it before this.
Same. Pro tip to everybody that picks up James, maybe, brush up and read Huckleberry Finn first. Because I know I read it in school as well, but didn't,
I wasn't the best student, so I probably didn't read it in school.
Fair enough. What do we think of Jim's narration, since that was different? This story obviously being from his perspective this time and not Huck's.
I thought it was really well done. I enjoyed that view, and I liked that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like raw. You kind of really felt like you got to know him and the challenges and also his dreams and aspirations. So
for sure,
it was good.
It was really interesting. And the mood and tone of this book we've kind of discussed a little bit. Definitely a more difficult read. Anything else you guys want to add, though? I thought it was very thoughtfully written.
Thoughtfully written, not something to read before you go to bed.
Yeah, and I'd say somehow still like witty and in some parts cheeky, you know, in how they used and incorporated language. So
definitely. And what do you think of the interactions between Huck and Jim? I don't want to give too much away, but you know, Jim reveals a true connection that's different than, for sure, because I did have to research this, like, you know, there a connection family-wise with Huck and Jim in Huckleberry Finn? Yeah. But no, it is just for this book, James. What did you guys think of that reveal at the end?
I'm curious if either of you saw it coming.
No.
I spoiled it for myself because I did a little bit of research on Huckleberry Finn before reading this, and so it was the first thing I read. And so I knew to anticipate it, which I regret.
I know. That was such a twist. Yeah. I did not see it coming.
There was a point where I thought it, and then I was like, well, this probably would have happened already. Right. And so then it caught me by surprise, but I had a little bit of a,
See, and that connection then in part 3, like towards the end, there was just, I feel like it all was coming to a head and it almost felt a little rushed would be my only, I guess, critique as well with this book, is it was all the other, chapters and parts.
Adventures.
Yes, had like a lot to it, and then part 3 just felt like they wanted to end it.
Comes to an end quick.
Yes, and it had a lot. Throughout the novel, too, James meets several other slaves and runaways. Norman, Sammy, Brock, several others. Did you have any favorite character in the book, or do any of these character interactions with James surprise you at all?
I remember really liking Norman as the character, and then Sammy, I think, kind of reminded him of his daughter, and so I thought that was probably intentional by the author to kind of help seed and thread through this journey he's on to find his wife and daughter.
Definitely.
So I thought that was
I think Sammy and James were my 2 favorite characters in the book, because Sammy evoked such an emotion with some rape scenes, and like you said, like James thought of her like a daughter. So, and the ending we've already discussed. I thought it was a little rushed, but I did enjoy the ending. So, ends on a high note, if there can be a high note in this.
Agreed.
Well, thank you so much, y'all. And we already have our next pick, too, that we're going to be reading right here. It's a viral one trending on TikTok. It's called Indigo Ridge by Debney Perry, and I'm told it's filled with romance, mystery, and is one of those small town enemies to lovers kind of read. I'm excited to dive in, and to join our book club and read along with us, text the word club to 206-448-4545. Happy reading. And before we say goodbye today, we want to take a moment to thank a longtime member of Team New Day who works behind the scenes. There she is. Director Amanda Bedsall has been with the show since the beginning. She's usually in the booth punching up the different camera shots, but we made her come out here today. She just, there she is. Amanda, we are so thrilled that you get to move to a later shift, which means no more 3 a.m. alarm clocks, but we're of course going to miss you tremendously. Thank you for all you do and for really leaving a mark on this show. And thank you to all of you at home for spending time with us today. You can check out our website for more of our content, and you can always send us an email to share your thoughts. Don't forget to enjoy your new day, and we'll see you next time.
Some segments of New Day Northwest are paid for by these fine sponsors: